out here in Harare. This time we are not at the homestead. We just came together for this special chapter or episode, if you like, just to talk about some things that we've experienced at the homestead thus far. We've been asked a lot of questions about how things, how we have done things, certain things, and there's not always an occasion to respond to those questions. So today we just decided to do this video and talk about our experience with contractors. Hopefully we have something of value to share that can help you on your own journey. So we are out here at the Tudor Valley Guest House in Hogerty Hill, Borrowdale in Harare. It's a fantastic place to be if you are coming to Harare. You want to spend some time in a quiet place, a family-friendly environment.
Yeah.
They've got 3 beds here, one lofty at the top here, the main bed, which is insert. And how many kilometers is it away from Levy? It's close to Levy's village. So you've got your restaurants there, you've got your the supermarkets for shopping and so forth. So it's a wonderful place to be, very quiet, serene. So we're gonna put the details in the description below if you're interested to come out here and when you visit Harare, whether you're coming from abroad, you're visiting Zim and you're in Harare, or you're just passing through Harare from another city going elsewhere, or coming here for whatever purpose you're here. I think this is a good place for you to put up.
Yeah, it takes 6.
Yeah.
And it can be self-catering, or if you would like to have a chef prepare food for you, that can also be arranged.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's lovely, it's quiet, beautiful gardens and lovely place.
Yeah, and we look forward to be using it from time to time when we have to be here.
Yeah.
For whatever reason. Yeah, so
Okay, so I have my phone here with me, so that with my notes, or our notes, so that we don't skip anything. Right, so what have been the issues? The first thing is the lack of attention to detail. What I ordered versus what I got. So you will have certain things that are done in a certain way, and it's not done. Okay, we're not looking for 100% perfection, but if you're a tradesperson, or if you're doing your craft, or whatever it is that you're doing, I would expect that one would put their all into it, and to make sure that if something's supposed to be straight, it will come out straight. So whether you're laying bricks, they come out straight, or you're installing a door and you have to cut it, it should come out straight. So we have experienced and seen that some contractors do not have that eye for detail, to make sure that if something's supposed to be straight, or if something's supposed to come out in a certain way, it does. So sometimes we would see it after it's already been done, and in some cases it can't be fixed, or there are things that we would then have to ask that, please, can we try and fix this area again, or do over a certain thing, so that because you're going to be living in this house the rest of your life, or
for a long time. Yeah.
So there are small things that you will see and you pick up on that can really bug you. So yeah, that's one thing, an issue that we had.
Yeah, and I think it's a general problem across Zim. As you embark on your building project, it's something to really be careful about. There's a general lack of attention to detail. As Rumbi said, people can just leave crooked things that you then pick up later. For example, if something is not straight, whether it's the ceiling or the cornices up in the bedroom, you're gonna see it when you're lying on the bed looking up, and you start to analyze, oh, okay, that cornice is not straight. So most of the contractors, this is our experience, and it's not only ours. We have talked to other people. We have had the same issue. That there's just very little care about attention to detail. So yeah, in our experience, that's an issue, and we think it's a general it's a general thing across the board in Zim. Yeah.
Yeah, and to help deal with that issue, I think one main thing is to be present where you can, or have somebody standing in for you. Be present and see the things being done. If you're not happy with something, you can politely talk about it and see if it can be fixed so that it's how you want it to be.
Yeah. So me, number two. General, yeah. Well, the point here is we noted that there's a general negative attitude, at least as our experience, about building in rural. Maybe this emanates from the fact that the contractors know that no one is coming to inspect the building, because, as you may or may not know, in Zim, when you're building in rural, we don't follow the same requirements as in urban. So there are no inspectors coming to sign off every stage in the construction process or construction stages. So when the contractors come, our builders came from Harare, or all our contractors most of them came from Harare. So we picked this attitude that, well, if it's rural, we can just get away with things, But from our side, we had always thought that would maintain the standards that you would find in urban and insist on those, regardless of where you're building, urban or rural. Being in rural, we wanted to have the same standards as urban, but we discovered that our contractors, unfortunately, would have this overly negative attitude. Let me not say negative, but just this general attitude that, look, when we're doing it in rural, we don't necessarily have to keep up the standards in urban. So this is something that you discover later as you go, to say, oh, okay. And even the way they put things across, to say, okay, we are here, we can just do it this way, which we don't have to do in urban. But if you want your building to be of urban standard, let me say, you just have to insist on standard regardless of where the building is located.
Yeah. And again, that means you have to be present as you see things being done. All right. Then the other thing in our experience is that some contractors charge by the looks. If you come in this big car, or if they just look at you and they think, oh, this person might have money, they will give you a different quote versus somebody else that they may have met somewhere else, and they think maybe they don't have as much money. So some contractors do that. We also heard some people in the diaspora experience this when you contact them with a number of a foreign number. So one of the ways that we have managed to navigate that issue was just to insist on a fair price, get several quotes from different contractors, and see if there's too much of a difference between the quotes that you've been given, and then you go with the one that you have found to be best reference, if you have a reference, or the quote that is most suitable, and the work that they do, what you've seen that they do.
Yeah, that's for sure. And also, sometimes when you're doing a project of this nature, you want to pay off things, to say, I've paid the builder or the amount to this stage, or the entire amount, or I've paid the electrician this, I've paid the plumber the full amount. Don't do it. That's an important sign to them that you have got the money that you can pay up. I think you have to play like the money is not there, that the money doesn't come from trees, because we notice that the moment you show signs that when they ask for this or they charge you this, the money just comes out. They'll just keep withdrawing, quote unquote. They'll just keep withdrawing and run you dry, basically. So that ties in very well with what Rumbi is saying concerning overcharging and just by your looks, what they think you have, and then they charge you according to that. So play the hard ball. Let me say, play the hard ball. That money is tough to find, to put together, and for sure, that's what it is really in reality.
Yeah. And then the next thing is lack of supervision. So you would find that in a team of contractors, there's the head or the owner of the business, and then he has some people under him. So sometimes you find that the head contractor may have to leave the site for one reason or the other, and he leaves somebody junior who is overseeing the rest of the team, and in our experience would find that when the head contractor leaves, the junior team that's left behind, sometimes because they know that the senior guy is no longer there, they don't work according to the standards expected, whether it's slackening, talking too much. Yes, you can talk on the site, of course, but sometimes you find that when there's a lot of chatter, somebody can miss something, and they are not really focused on the work that they're doing. The stories are just so interesting that they can just forget that they're actually on site, they're working. We're not saying people should be quiet, but I hope you understand the difference, that when you're working and you're talking too much, it's easy to mess up things, and you may not even realize that, oh, I forgot to, let's say they're laying bricks and they forget to put the brick force on a certain layer, the stage where it's put brick force, because they're talking a lot. So it can happen to anyone. So just that lack of supervision, and because that has happened when you're not there, the head contractor is not there, nobody knows that this has happened. So we've seen that, we've experienced that the lack of supervision can cause issues.
It's a real problem, that's for sure. And one of the reasons it happens is because you find that the contractors tend to pick up many jobs in different places. So the key guy, who's actually possibly in most cases the qualified guy with the most skill, he has to be at all those sites. So he then assembles a team of experienced, but not to his standard or not to his level, experienced core workers who are junior to him, that he lives at these different sites. So he has to monitor them. So he would come on your site and maybe do what he considered, or oversee what he considered the critical things. For example, if he's setting out the foundation, or the roofing, if it's somebody who's doing the entire project by themselves. And then they go away, and then they leave these junior guys to do things that he thinks they'll be able to do. But that's where a lot of mistakes come in, because these guys tend to overlook a lot of things, and you may not actually be there. You may not even be aware that he has left the site, because they don't always tell you, or they may tell you that I'm going away, I'll be back on such a day, and you think they're coming back, and they don't come back. Probably 2 weeks later, that's when they'll come back. But what happens within those 2 weeks can actually affect your project. So we have had run-ins with these guys who are left on the ground when the senior guy has left. Sometimes you find that they've got a certain attitude. They may be disgruntled because of their arrangement with this the contractor who has signed up with you. Because remember, you have not signed up with this team, the junior guys. The guy who has put their signature down is the main contractor. So he has his own internal arrangement with these boys or with these guys whom he may fail to pay on time. So they tend to carry that attitude to your work. You have paid the contractor, but they haven't been paid well, or they have been given promises and things like that. So that kind of spills over to your project, and it affects how things are executed on your site. So lack of supervision is a big issue. Again, when we've asked around, this didn't only happen with us, it has happened with other people as well. That people jump on jobs and then they leave people who are not qualified to do the painting or to do the floor, or all kinds of things that could be done on the project, and they are not there to supervise.
And again, it leads to the same thing, that you have to be 100% on the project. Don't drop the ball. You have to know what's going on, because if you just leave it, anything can happen, and you may not know any mistakes that happened because they can just cover up, and even the head contractor wouldn't have been present, so he may not have known as well.
Yeah, even up to this day, really, I don't think we'd say we know everything that was done, to the detail on the project. It's obvious from what we have seen that there were some mistakes that were done that we'd never know. Probably they'll show up later and things like that. Yeah. All right. So, poor administration. Is this mine?
Yes, you can.
Okay. So poor administration. Well, it's projects that are administered well run well, generally speaking. By administration, we mean the paperwork itself. Being told in advance that we need these materials. At this point in time, just that it's part of communication as well, because you are administering different aspects, different facets of the project. So our experience is that generally there's poor administration. So the contractors seem to have the actual skill of doing the work, but they then tend to be weak on the administrative part, which has got implications as well. Yeah. So sometimes when you need a written paper trail of certain things, you will not get it because these guys are not basically geared for it. Their sphere is we do the work, we do brick and mortar, but they don't have the other side, which is important when you're doing projects like this, especially when you want to have everything documented with paper trail. Yeah. So it's an important factor that we've come across in our experience. Yeah.
Well, I was just going to give an example.
Yeah, sure.
Of when we had a meeting with one of our contractors, and I was taking down the notes of what we were discussing and what we had agreed upon in that meeting. And then when the stage came, the contractor then said, no, that's not my writing. Yeah. I didn't say that. I said I was going to offer this service, and then this other service you were going to pay X amount, which was
the reverse of what was agreed.
Yeah, so it just kind of threw off things for that particular stage in the project. Yeah. So that's part of that main thing, that if, for example, the contractor had a document that they give you, that then we both sign that, okay, this is what I'm going to offer, and it's going to cost X amount, then it would make planning on both sides easier. On their end, they know that they've given the client all the information, and then on our end, we know for planning purposes what this contractor is going to do and how much it's going to cost.
Yeah, and I'll add and say in that particular example, it's probably because we can't say it was because the contractor had malicious intent. I think it's also because, as mentioned earlier, they've got so many projects going on. So maybe you talk to another contractee that is doing the project for and agreed on certain things, and so he is now forgotten or confused to say what did I promise to this one and things, because there's no solid paper trail. So the thing is, the skill could be there, but the administration could simply be weak. So you may need to be careful of that and just insist from the onset to say, okay, let's have everything documented and agreed upon. This could be over and above the actual overall contract that you sign. But here we are talking about the specific detail that then comes on into the project that you may need to agree on specifically on certain things.
Yeah.
General lack of professionalism.
Yeah, so for this one, you have things like missing appointments. When, for instance, when we said stage, stage X is going to start in 2 weeks. And then you on our end, you line up everything to make sure that we're going to start in 2 weeks. Maybe you're even chasing, you've got weather conditions, you want to beat the rains before they come for that particular stage, whatever it is, and then you get stories towards that time. The contractor doesn't commit, or then they bring in other angles that had not been brought in earlier when you discussed about this. So that lack of professionalism on that aspect was quite frustrating, because you would have expected that we've agreed on this and this stage is coming up next, and you've lined up everything. You want everything to work according to the plan. Yes, when building, things don't always go according to plan, but at least communicate ahead of time to say, okay, no, sorry, I know we agreed about this, but ABC has happened, so can we shift it to this? Or so communication is important, which lacks in some of the contractors.
Yeah. At least according to our experience, there've been, when that happens, it's really it can turn the entire project on its head, because when you're, especially, there's a time we're building, as if you've been watching the previous chapters, during the rainy season we're chasing time and things like that. We had the same experience when we were trying to do the septic tank as well, because the hole had been dug, and the rains were coming. Wanted to do the skirting, and there were all these changes to say, no, okay, I said next week, and then you phone next week, or did I say this week? No, I'm waiting for somebody, let's do it next, so no clear commitment to a time frame to say, okay, I'm going to be on the ground on this particular date. So something just to be aware of and prepare for. Okay. Imposing on ideas. Yeah, this is part of lack of professionalism. At least that's how we interpreted it.
If
that hit you hard the most.
Because you have a specific or a certain design that you want, and the contractor insists that no, you should do it this way. But look, this is our house.
This is my project.
Yes. So we appreciate ideas. Okay, there's nothing wrong with saying no as a professional, to say, I think if you do it like this, it could come out better because of ABC. So on imposing own ideas, we did experience some contractors who wanted to insist on their own design on certain things, which were going against what we had wanted. So there's nothing wrong with offering some advice as a professional in the field, to say, if you do it like this, it will turn out better because of ABC, because you're the professional in the field. And we could listen to that, and then we can reconsider. But if you come so strong and you insist that no, do it like this, or do it like that, when it's our place and it's our project, then that doesn't really come out properly or professionally. So those are some of the things that we experienced with some of the contractors, and for that, because we didn't have any a serious professional argument to say why should we do things that way, we just continued with the designs that we wanted, because it's our project.
A lot to learn through these experiences. Okay.
So is it possible to find good contractors in Zim, having said all this?
Yes, absolutely. I think it's possible. I think generally the contractors are good. They're good people in an overall sense. But you have got these little things that then tend to add up and affect the project in a certain way. But generally people are good. You can work with people. You just have to, the reason why we are sharing this information is to hopefully contribute to the improvement of standards. When the contractees, we or you who's having a project done, insist on certain things. Hopefully with time, as many of us, as many people do that, it will just help them change the attitude. In other words, when we don't allow small things to just pass without us insisting on the right way of doing them. So yes, of course, you can get, there are good contractors out there, but of course, the cheaper the contractor, the more of these problems you're going to have. So sometimes you may say, okay, I found someone cheap to do things for me, but you'll find that you're paying for it, in the roundabout way.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely you can find good contractors. You could even go for the top of the range contractors who build the bigger projects, whether it's for other multi-million-dollar businesses, but you know what it means, right? The reason why we go with these other contractors who are maybe middle level is because we want to balance the costs and the good skill. But definitely, even within that range, you can find them.
Yeah, that's for sure. So our remedies, as we wrap this up, our remedies or suggestions and how we worked around all of this work with contractors, I think we've already mentioned over and over again. The first one is being present where you can, or having somebody standing in for you to make sure that the project is going according to plan and according to how you envisioned it.
So as Rumbi said, we've been mentioning all across earlier, if you work what we've been saying in reverse, basically you find the solution, the remedy. But one of the key ones is that don't pay in full for a job not completed. We found it demotivates the contractors. They won't work hard, and you get an incomplete job.
And don't be afraid to direct the works. Just because it's a professional, the person is trained in that specific field, don't be afraid to get in there and direct how you want things to go. Of course, in all humility, and also standing to be guided by them. Get the reasoning behind why certain things are being done in a certain way, and probe further if you need to, but be on top of the game for the whole duration of your project. Okay, and another thing is to correct errors immediately. As soon as you see something has gone wrong on something, just step in and have it corrected if it's possible to be corrected. But if it's a huge undertaking, then perhaps it may have to be left as is. But don't be afraid to get in there and have the errors corrected.
Unfortunately, you have to be ready to fire. We don't believe that you need to keep a contractor who's not performing, because for one, this project is yours, and you're going to have it with you for many years to come. Whatever the errors that are there, you're going to be reminded of them long after the contractor is left. Think about it. Whichever house you can think about that you see on the side of the road, the house in the suburbs, who talks about the builder? Nobody talks about the contractor who built. Think about a house, for example, here in Harare. Think about a house in Mount Pleasant, in Avondale, in Borrowdale. Nobody talks about the contractor, the guy who built it. They are long gone. Okay, so this is what it means. You're going to remain with the building. You're going to remain with the project long after these guys who are your contractors are gone. So we believe that if things have gone wrong and you cannot come to an agreement to resolve the problems, you have the right to fire, sometimes on the spot. And you'd rather delay the project than carry on with a contractor who's not performing, who's not willing to remedy their mistakes. Because you are paying for it like any service. You're paying for it, and if it's not being delivered as expected, then you might as well part ways. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. Thank you for following the channel. We're looking forward to bringing the next update from the homestead on what's going on, because there's still some more things to be done, and we'll be sharing that on the channel.
Yes, thank you so much.